One. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Your boy, the Dreadman, is back with the NFL Fourth and Goal podcast, Week 8 edition 2023. I'm your host, the Dreadman, and here are my boys, Flipside and Wobble Ties. While the boys are back. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Glad to be back after hiatus for myself for the last several weeks, but glad to be back. Glad to be back joining you both. Flip, Dreadman. Good to be here.
Yes, sir. Flip, how's it
Yeah,
going?
man. I'm good to go. I actually have to be here for a game or a week where my team actually won. I'm feeling good.
Now, guys,
I'm feeling upbeat.
now, guys, listen. I know we took a week off, but with this, and I don't know. I just can't call it. I don't even know what to think anymore. We've seen. Go ahead.
I think it's the quarterbacks. I think it's the quarterback play because, like, if you look at it, I feel like half the games don't have good quarterbacks playing. Half of them, at least half. You go, like, especially with all these backups starting to come in now.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of trash, like starting lineup, like starting quarterbacks for like both teams, right? You got like some of these games where you got backups on both squads stepping up. Next week's not going to be that much better. You're looking at. Looking at Tennessee, Tennessee's already. Atlanta, Tennessee. Granted, Will Levis actually looked pretty good, but Atlanta's already going to Heineke next week. Pittsburgh's got to rely on Trubisky. The Giants got a quarterback that can't complete a forward pass. I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah, it is insane, and it seems like everybody else is like there's always some loopy ass. And thing is, the refs have a huge say in a lot of the way these games are being played too. Like the games are being decided by either a referee or a field goal, or like you said, backup quarterbacks.
But are we saying like this shift in quarterback so much because it's such a top heavy league right now?
Yeah, definitely. And
you could probably like 1 through 8. There's probably like eight quarterbacks that you would say are pretty solid, like legit guys, and then after that, it's like a drop off.
Yeah,
it's like a bad drop off. But except with the like, I feel like in the past there was at least like 12 to 15 like legitimate starters that like or even if they weren't like elite guys, they're at least guys that were like franchise quarterbacks for their team for like at least a decade plus that has some consistency. But right now, man, it's just I don't know if it's just the injuries. Like obviously the Vikings lost Cousins, they're having to go to a backup. Cleveland's Watson can't get Watson's. He hasn't been right since that guaranteed money hit.
Yeah,
it's I think the parity in the NFL has to do a lot with the lack of consistent quarterback play across the board.
And that's the thing. Even with like 8 of the quarterbacks that you mentioned, like 6 of those quarterbacks are in the AFC conference. There's not really that many to speak of in the NFC. So there's that.
Yeah. And NFC is like very very it's big drop off.
Yeah. And despite the 49ers being on a 2-game losing streak, they're still stacking up. It's not like they don't
3 games now.
Damn,
we lost 3 in a row. We lost 3 in a row. We lost Cleveland, lost Vikings, and just lost last week. I mean, great. I think part of it's Purdy. Purdy hasn't been right. I think he got concussed in the Vikings game.
Yeah.
He made some bad mistakes after that game, and I think he probably shouldn't have played last week, but they threw him out, on short rest, 6 games. Somehow made it through concussion protocol, and it still didn't look right.
Should have kept Trey Lance. Should have kept him.
Say that again?
I said should have kept
Trey Lance.
Yeah, should have kept him. I'm telling you.
We'll see. I'm surprised they didn't try throwing in Darnold at least.
Oh, for the love of God!
See what you got. You felt confident enough to trade Lance and get Darnold. Might as well see how good of a backup he can be. Give Purdy a break here. He's getting killed out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. And like I said, it's not like you guys don't have a top defense already. I mean, you got Fred Warner, you got Nick Bosa, you got
now we got Chase Young.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to get to that. Now you got Chase Young.
The rich get richer on that front seven, man. It is just that is a stacked line now.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I respect the 49ers for doing it because they don't have a QB contract. They got rid of Jimmy's contract, and I think that was the biggest thing for them is that they had so much money to just like mess around with on the defensive side
Right.
because the offense when it's healthy, it's good. It's just that they lost Trent Williams, they lost Debo, and so it's been kind of an iffy couple weeks for them. But this is going to be like huge for them once everybody's healthy again.
Absolutely. Well, all right, gentlemen. Game of the week for last week. Flip, what was yours?
My game of the week last week. Let's see. Didn't like that game. That Seahawks Browns game was pretty interesting. PJ Walker, I know we shit on like the backups that come in, but he was keeping them in that game for a bit. I know they were leading at I think in the third quarter, and it was kind of like a little nice shootout. I liked it. It was a little bit of a defensive game, but it was a good offensive game too. I liked that Eagles Commanders game.
Yes.
Didn't catch the Jets Giants, but I did see that it went into overtime. I'm gonna have to go with that Brown Seahawks game. I was watching that one for a little bit. It was pretty good.
Oh yeah, and the shocker of the week was
and that Texas Panthers game was good.
Yeah,
but I know it was defensive, but that was a good ass game at the end.
Yeah, and don't forget the shocker of the week: Denver beating Kansas City.
Oh,
that shocked the that shocked the. I don't know what in the multiverse of madness that was, but yeah, it was ridiculous. But yeah, Waz, what was your game of the week?
I have to give it to Philadelphia and the Commanders. They put on a pretty good high offensive show. I was expecting kind of a sluggish game. I remember that game from last year where Washington basically just ran all over Philadelphia and just maintained time of possession, so Philly couldn't do much on offense. But this one was a high scoring game. For somehow, some way, the Commanders were able to keep Sam Howell upright. Sam Howell getting all the sacks this year, and you would think that would continue against this Philly front line, but somehow they were able to keep him upright, and he put on a pretty good performance, almost throwing for 400 yards. Yeah, it was actually kind of surprising. I didn't think that they'd be able to put up that many points, especially against Philly. I know Philly can get thrown on a little bit, but more impressed with their offensive line and blocking Philly's defense. But I like it. It was good showing. Philly had a pretty good game. Jalen Hurts, terrific numbers. Trying to boost his potential MVP campaign with the 7-1 Eagles. But I think that was the game of the week for me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, your most improved team of the week. Flip, what was yours?
Let's see. Most improved team. I mean, we have to probably go with the Broncos here, honestly.
Yeah.
Right? We have to. I mean, I think this is if you told me any game that might be an upset this week, I might say the Broncos because they play them hard, but I didn't expect them to shut the Chiefs down to 9 points.
No.
That was insane to me. So, I mean, yeah, I got to give it to the Broncos. They actually played on both sides of the ball for one game. It was surprising. Russ was looking pretty solid. The defense looked good, and they had Mahomes frustrated the whole game. So, yeah, give me the Broncos in this, 100%.
Yeah. All right, Wad, what was yours?
I'm going to say Cincy, actually. I think Cincy put on a pretty solid performance against San Francisco on the road. Joe Burrow had probably his best game, I think, so far this year. He's looking like he's back to closer to 100% than he looked at the start of the season. I know that I've been kind of waiting for this Bengals team to kind of pop back up, but they haven't seemed like the AFC contender like they have been in the previous 2 years. But it now seems like the ball's starting to roll a little bit. Yeah. They got Mixon going. Chase is getting the ball. He's getting a lot of looks. Burrow's making terrific plays. I think honestly, I think they were from how they've looked in the weeks past. I think. For me, I think they're the most improved team since last week, and I think going forward, I think they're gonna start making some headway, and then reminding everyone that they've been in the AFC Championship the last 2 years.
All right. And last but not least, the ever so coveted choke of the week. Flip, what was yours?
It's got to be the Texans Panthers.
Oh, God, yeah.
I think the Texans had that game locked down, and they I wouldn't say they I wouldn't call it a choke, but it was just like you had so many
They
opportunities to go down
underperformed like
that
hell.
field and put up points.
Yeah.
And it's against the Panthers of all teams. Like everyone has been scoring against this Panthers team. You shut down their run game, and then it's just like you let them drive down the field and kill you on the. And then they killed clock. They could have stopped them still, but they killed clock.
Chance to just towards the end, run the clock out, get some points on the board, keep the ball away, or just punt it and make Seattle, move on them, 80 plus yards. But to throw an interception off the Jamal Adams' head and give the ball back to the Seahawks, and have them score on you right off the bat, right after that. Cleveland, they could have won that game. Probably should have won that game. I had to give it to them. I think Seattle stole that one. I think Cleveland defense was doing their part, and they just gave the ball up late, unfortunately, and they choked that away. I'm gonna have to give them the choke of the week for me.
All righty. Now let's move on to these predictions for next week. Titans going up against Steelers. Now, both of these teams are without their starting QB, Trubisky. Yeah. And Tennessee, despite, DeAndre Hopkins looked damn good last week, and if he plays anything like he did on Sunday, the Steelers are also without Minkah Fitzpatrick, so he can light our secondary up. It doesn't matter who. I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter, but if he's targeted, he could be trouble. But then again, you can say the same thing about George Pickens. And I would say, and as much as I hate to admit, has a better running game than the Pittsburgh Steelers do with Derrick Henry. So yeah, this one might actually come down to who has the better defense. Oh boy. Tennessee's 4-3. Tennessee's 3-4. Pittsburgh is 4-3. Oh boy. But this one, I'm just not so sure. I would actually trust, oh boy. Matter of fact, yeah, give me the Tennessee Titans over the Pittsburgh Steelers 21-20. Flip, who you got? Steelers, Titans.
I think the Will Levis hype might die down this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but I'm kind of giving y'all a lot of leeway there. It seems like y'all don't even need an offense to win the game. Apparently,
yeah.
You guys are steaming along with just the defense. So
we can get away with that here's the thing, against lesser teams, we can get away with that.
Yeah. But against the Titans, I don't know, as long as Derrick Henry doesn't get rolling on you, I think you guys should be fine. But you said Trubisky is probably going to be starting?
Probably.
Okay. I might like Trubisky and this Pickens still.
Yeah.
Give me the Steelers and
Pittsburgh. Granted, I don't like the style of play that you guys few weeks where you kind of you mess around for most of the game and then somehow pull it out of your butt in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna work on a short week, but you guys are at home. You're facing a rookie quarterback and Tomlin. The Steelers usually have a pretty solid record going against rookie quarterbacks. Granted, you guys did get lit up by C.J. Stroud earlier in the year.
Yeah.
However, I'm curious to see how Will Levis can do against a solid defense.
More than solid.
Yes, for him to do it against Falcons is one thing. I don't think he's going to be able to repeat that. Again, it's going to be a short week. I do like the overall offensive weapons on Tennessee a bit more. But I am going to take you guys, the home team, against the rookie quarterback on a short week. I'm going to give you the slight edge. Me, Pittsburgh, to win this game 23-20.
All right. Next up, mama, we got a very, very good AFC conference matchup. You got the Miami Dolphins going on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs. This is in
Germany.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Overseas, Germany. Wow. Yeah. So basically, Kansas City is billed as the home team, but this is really neutral territory.
Neutral field. Yeah.
Yeah. But based on last week's teams both based on both their performances. I mean, the Dolphins are rolling right now. They really are. Their offense. I mean, as long as Tua is healthy, their offense is rolling. And the thing is, I don't know what it. I mean, despite the Kansas City Chiefs being 6-2, they still got some things that they need to figure out. I don't know if Patrick Mahomes is 100%. Travis Kelsey, aka Mr. Swift, he's hit or miss this year. Now, but when he's healthy on the field, he's a firecracker. I give him that. And of course, they got Pacheco, and their receiving core. They got Flyers, man. It's their defense that hasn't been holding. That's the problem. And the thing is, you can't do that against Miami. Miami can run up the score on you very, very quickly. That's something I got to. And the thing is, the defense is nothing to sneeze at either. I think this is going to be a mighty close. I think we're going to see how Kansas City responds to being punched in the mouth. And normally, I don't pick against them twice. I don't see them losing 2 games straight in a row. But I think if they were, this will be the one. So go on ahead and give me the Miami Dolphins over Kansas City, 27-24. Flip, who you got? Dolphins, Chiefs.
Dolphins, Chiefs. I don't like the Chiefs' offense too much right now. And I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I think this might be a repeat of the Broncos game.
Wow.
The way the Dolphins are improving on defense more and more each week because they're getting back guys like Jalen Ramsey, and I mean their offense is still healthy. I think they might have Achane back this week or next week. I don't know. Actually, no. It's they're after their bye, so they're
Right.
the Chiefs got lucky there. But the thing is, you hang with the Dolphins too much, and we've seen that Mahomes has been a little bit not. I don't know how to put this, but he's just not the Mahomes that he was last season or the seasons before that, and I'm pretty sure it's because he's got some terrible weapons. I mean, your main guy is Travis Kelsey, and you take him away, and who do you have? You have Sky Moore, Rashee Rice. I guess you can throw it to Isaiah Pacheco. Yeah. You cannot rely on homeboy from the Giants. What's his name? Kadarius Toney. Can't rely on him. Good luck with that. So when I see that, and I'm thinking on this side, like you have a guy who just hit the 1,000-yard mark in 8 weeks. You have the guy on the other side who's just as fast as him and is a great possession catcher. You have a backfield who's just as fast as those two guys. And then add on top of that you got like Braxton Berrios. You got Tua. Just he can sling the ball wherever on the field right now. And their defense is getting better with Jalen Ramsey back. So yeah. I mean, we saw that last week. He almost had a pick 6 on I think his first week back. So with all those pieces in line, I can't really sit here and be like, man, the Chiefs have a chance when they just blew this game to the Broncos, who got 70-20 against this Dolphins team. Yeah. So, yeah, give me the Dolphins in this 31-20 over the Chiefs.
All righty. Wow, so you got Dolphins, Chiefs.
Yeah, everything Flip said, I have to second. I am leaning. I think the Dolphins will win this game. If Mahomes had the flu or whatever it was that caused him to play poorly, last Sunday, granted it's gonna maybe be, maybe a little bit. He might be recovered by middle or by the end of this week. But the fact that he's got to travel now on top of all that, traveling's never great on the immune system, regardless. So it's not the best time to be trying to win a game on the international overseas internationally when you're coming off an illness the prior week, and then you happen to face against a high-powered offense like the Dolphins. I do obviously like Kansas City's defense, and I think even though they have again, it's the defense. Like Miami can be exposed a little bit, but like Flip said, realistically, I don't really trust the other receiving options that Mahomes has outside of Kelsey. I think we've kind of reached the tipping point with the Chiefs in terms of what can they get away with in terms of lack of receivers. I'm surprised they weren't maybe a little more active at the trade deadline. And try to make some sort of move. I'm not sure what moves would have been out there for them, but I don't know. Maybe a Judy from Denver would have helped or something. Obviously Devontae Adams, I think was not on the books, but yeah, I just don't see how this team's gonna keep up with the Finns. Give me Miami to win this game. I'll say Miami wins this game 27-17.
All right. Next up, we got the Minnesota Vikings going on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. Both of these teams are 4-4. Now, a lot of people you're going up against probably Atlanta's probably the most shaky 500 team we got right now, and Minnesota. Don't forget,
Starting, and then yeah, everybody else is good to go then.
yeah, everybody else is good to go, but good lord, I mean, and I thing is, I know how you guys are on Desmond Ritter, but the thing is, I don't know what to make of Minnesota now. They got weapons, but like they don't got anybody behind center to really, to make those kind of catches. I mean, make those kind of throws. And Atlanta, the thing is, Atlanta wins games, but they do just enough. They haven't had a definitive win all year. All their wins and losses have been close. So yeah, and the thing is, like, I feel more comfortable picking Atlanta because I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think of Minnesota right now. And shame on me for having Minnesota win the NFC North this year. Can't win them all, I guess. But yeah, give me Atlanta. 20 Falcons.
Oh man, this is nasty.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like this is about to be a running game, and I don't even think Desmond Ritter is starting next week. By the way, I think it might be the other guy because I know he got benched the last game. But I just don't know. There's so many backups at this. Oh, Taylor Heineke. Yeah,
Taylor Heineke. Oh my god.
So
I'm not impressed.
Might be a bit of an upgrade over Ritter. Might be. We'll see.
Can he play? Can he play for 4 quarters? That's the question. Get quarters out of him. No.
Can you get 4 quarters of the Desmond Ritter?
No, you either get a good half. You either get a good first half and a trash second half, or you get a good or vice versa.
Exactly. So I mean, it's an instant upgrade with Taylor Heineke because at least we've seen that he can make some big plays.
Mm-hmm.
So he has potential. We'll see how he does in his offense for a whole game with some practice time with the first team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of leaning towards the Falcons because of that. Just because Kirk Cousins is out. There's no Justin Jefferson. You've got a fresh rookie. I don't even think he's played a single game in the NFL. So it's like you have to make chemistry with your new number one, who's a rookie as well. TJ Hawkinson's going to be working overtime this week, and the run games are. I mean, you could probably argue that the. I don't even know if it's an argument at this point. I think Falcons have the better run game over the Vikings. Yeah. So I do like Cam Akers and Madison, though. They are pretty solid. But I think it comes down to the quarterback play for me. Defensively, I think both of these teams are pretty all right. Mm-hmm. I do know that the Vikings blitz scheme might, shake up the game a little bit, though. So I'm going to keep it close. So I'm going to say 21-20 for the Falcons, but that defense for the Vikings, that blitz scheme, it has gotten a few guys riled up, so it might be going that way.
All right, Waz, so you got Vikings, Falcons.
With Jefferson out, I think both offenses potentially can kind of be a wash a little bit. I think they're kind of about even, especially with the running game that Atlanta has. Mm-hmm. At that point, I'm going to lean on the home team and the more seasoned quarterback against the rookie on the road. On a obviously coming in to fill in from last week. So give me Atlanta to win this game. It could be a little sloppy, probably low scoring. I'll say Atlanta wins this 20-14.
All right. Next up, oh man, this is actually a premier game. We got the Seattle Seahawks going up against the Baltimore Ravens. Now the Baltimore Ravens are starting to click now. They were kind of quiet, but now they've kind of, it's like, okay, we're here now, we're awake. The Seahawks is another team that I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on right now. The Seahawks are rolling. But here's the thing. This is before it's meeting the immovable object. It's going to be a Lamar Jackson versus Geno Smith duel. The only X factor is the Seahawks defense better than the Baltimore defense? I would have to say I don't think so. I think that they could do enough to shut down to shut down Baltimore's weapons. But thing is, that's going to have to force Lamar Jackson to beat him with his legs, and I think that might be what could happen. Now the thing is, I could be wrong, but they could possibly shut Lamar down. Like I just don't see. If you ask me who wins in a duel between Lamar Jackson and Geno Smith, I would slightly take Lamar Jackson. And if it does come down to a game of who's,
Blasphemy.
you think so?
Yes, very much so. Lamar Jackson might be having the best quarterback streak right now in the league. The first 8 weeks, he might be in the running for MVP, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially in the AFC comp. Well, maybe two. The only other guys you could talk about is maybe Tua, but that's about it. But yeah, yeah, this might be a shootout. But and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I feel safer. I feel safer picking Baltimore. Give me Baltimore 28-26 over the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are going to do a good job of keeping up with them, but I think it might come down to that one last clutch fourth quarter play. And you know that Justin Tucker, if it comes down to Justin Tucker and him at 50-something yards, that's money right there. All right, but anyway, Flip, who you got? Seahawks, Ravens.
Keeping up with them the way Lamar is kind of on a hot streak right now.
Right.
Gus Edwards is killing it in the run game. I think Lamar has finally figured out how to get his receivers to catch the ball, and I think that's why they're doing so great now.
Right.
I don't know what he did. He threatened them. Maybe he paid for their dinner for a couple of days. I don't know what he did, but they're finally catching the balls. And that is the biggest thing for this team because the defense is great. I think the defense is having a hell of a year. So that's why I'm kind of not even looking towards the Seahawks to even kind of give them a run for their money because this Ravens defense it looks great. And the only missing piece was Lamar and these guys getting on chemistry with each other. They just needed to catch these balls and actually be receivers. I mean, even Odell Beckham was catching passes, and they're blowing out teams. So, yeah, I got to ride the hot hand here, and I'm going to say the Ravens win this 27-17 over the Seahawks.
Okay. All right, Waz, who you got? Ravens, Seahawks.
Yeah, this is probably game of the week right now.
I agree.
It's really hard to call. Both teams are on great streaks. Both are coming into this week, very hot. Just essentially, especially with like Lamar. I feel like Lamar's been playing extremely well. So far this season, and yeah, he could definitely be up there with in the MVP talks, but I was trying to look at both their schedules. I'm trying to figure out like who, if either one of them has been benefiting off the schedule, and they actually both effectively have been playing the same teams. It looks like I can't really get a read on who's had the tougher schedule going into this game. They both have beaten the Lions, although granted the Ravens smoked them, but they both. I was trying to see if either one had an easier schedule, but they both actually played basically the same teams. It's kind of hard to kind of compare them in that aspect. I do trust Lamar over Geno, so to speak. I especially with how he's looked and how he's been playing at the quarterback level, not just with his feet, but just back there throwing. Granted, he hasn't even really been getting good looks to Odell or I feel like him and Flowers have more of a rapport than him and Odell so far this season, and if that ever clicks, if Odell ever kind of returns to some semblance of how he looked with the Rams during certain points a few years back, I mean that could be a one hell of an offense. This is a coin flip for me. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and be the contrarian here. I'm gonna pick Seattle. NFC West bias here, given. Granted, the AFC is a lot very top loaded, and a lot of the top, again, like the top 4 or 5 teams you could argue are out of the AFC, but Give me the Seahawks to win this. I'm gonna say it's gonna be close. This is basically I'm flipping a coin here. I'm gonna say Seahawks win 28-27. Very close game of the week. But I think Gino and the Seahawks pull it off.
I'm actually not mad at that pick. Like I said, I'm picking the Ravens to be safe, but a Seahawks win would not surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up, this one is slightly interesting. You got the New Orleans Saints at home against the Chicago Bears. The Bears, what can you say about them? They're underperforming this year. The Saints are quiet, and I think it's best if they stay that way, especially since they're in a quote unquote weak division, the NFC South. This is one of the weaker divisions. But the thing is, if they're not careful, if people aren't careful, the Saints really could be a team that sneaks up on people. Like I said, I don't really know what to think, of the Bears, because the Bears, their defense isn't scary. They don't have a quarterback. The only thing they have is a slight resemblance of a running game, and their receivers ain't even clicking like that anymore. And the Saints, I said the Saints are pretty for what they are. Will they win a championship? That remains to be seen. But they're pretty solid. And with that said, and with the Bears being with the state that they're in, I think they do enough to pull away this game. So going ahead and give me the Saints in this game, 27-10 over the Bears. Flip, who you got? Bears, Saints.
Oh, I got the Saints in this. Tyson, whatever his name, Bagent. No, he's not it. Bring Justin Fields back. I think Megaton posted that clip of Chris Collinsworth hyping up Tyson Bagent, and I was just like, no.
Yeah.
This guy, he's sorry.
Yeah.
He stinks. He couldn't even beat the Chargers. Like, come on now.
That's not saying much though.
I mean, yeah, but this Saints team it's not the greatest. Derek Carr, like I said, he's a little overrated. I don't even say he's overrated, but he's just not good. He's in that like back end of the quarterbacks for me still. But this team, it's good. It's high powered. You got Michael Thomas looking like he's almost back to form. Alvin Kamara he's just having a Christian McCaffrey year.
Yeah, he balling.
The defense is solid. The defense is gonna probably have about 2-3 picks this game. I wouldn't be surprised if Lattimore came out with 3 picks on his own. It's not like a great game for them, even though the Saints team isn't the best offensively. So give me the Saints in this. I'll say 23-13 over the Bears.
All right. Who you got was Saints Bears?
Yeah, I have to go with the Saints here. Granted, I think the Saints they should have dealt Jameis at the trade deadline. I feel like Jameis Winston just wasting away on that bench. I feel like he could be starting at some of these teams. You got to be sitting there behind Derek Carr. He probably should be starting over Derek Carr, to be honest. But somehow he's just sitting back there. I don't think he could be playing. I think he could probably be matching at least what Derek Carr's doing. He should have probably gotten the trade a lot to the Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like, yeah.
I mean, shoot. It's just I'm holding a little bit of a grudge against it because I felt like there are a couple of people like I feel like are in bad situations like Devontae Adams and others where you wanted to see them get released and be able to go to a new team that can actually take advantage of them and actually be able to utilize them. But that's neither here nor there. I don't know whoever they got at quarterback right now. I don't know if Fields is going to be ready for this game. Certainly, if he is, they might have a puncher's chance. But otherwise, I don't think that Chicago's got it with the other guy. Give me the Saints at home to win this game. Let's say Saints win this game 23-14.
All right. Next up, we got the Green Bay Packers at home against the. I don't know what the hell's up with the Rams. The Rams are that also has a lot to do with it too. Now a lot of people are maybe sleeping on the Green Bay Packers. A lot of people say, well, the Packers aren't as good as advertised, but I think they're one of the thing is they've been able to scrape out a couple of significant wins too. The running game, the defense is carrying it for the Packers. Not saying Jordan Love isn't any good. He's not a top tier quarterback, at least not yet. But hey, he's done enough with the weapons that he has. The Rams, oh boy. The thing is, the Rams got a triple threat. I mean, with their wide, with their wide receiver core with Puka Nacua, what's his name is back. Yeah. Let's see, Puka Nacua, not Robert Woods, but I can't think of his name.
And Kupp?
Yeah,
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp. How about him? He was number one wide receiver 2 years ago or 3 years ago. How the hell? But yeah, but it's a damn shame the Rams got those weapons that don't really have a quarterback right now. We don't know if Stafford's going to start. The Stafford might be out for a couple of weeks. But yeah, I do feel safer picking the Packers in this game. Give me the Packers. I mean, now if they can make it if the Rams can make it a strictly running game and maybe do some little jet sweeps and all that other crap, maybe they got a chance. Well, they got a chance regardless, but they'll have a significantly better chance if they play them the right way. The thing is, Sean McVay had better be cooking up some black magic in that playroom. I'm telling you that. But yeah, give me the Packers 26-21. Yeah, 26-21. Flip, who you got? Rams, Packers.
Well, you say that we're all sleeping on the Packers, and I am definitely in a coma when it comes to that team.
Yep, I wait for that. I'm waiting for them.
That team is not good.
Yeah, but the thing is, they found ways to scrape out some games, though. That's the thing.
They do, but they haven't recently. I feel like they started off pretty decently, and everyone's kind of figuring out that Jordan Love is not that guy.
Yeah.
And defenses are planning accordingly now.
Yeah, they're getting one.
Yeah, Jordan Love is definitely not that guy now. And yeah, this Rams team isn't going to have Matt Stafford more than likely on Sunday. If they do, I think this is a pretty easy game. Even without him, though, I think Puka and Kupp and I don't really trust their run game because Kyron's still out. But Darrell Henderson's he was already in the offense I think last season. So I mean he already knows the offense enough. He did have a pretty solid game I think the week before that. So yeah, I mean this Rams offense, as long as they can get the ball to Cooper Kupp and Puka, which shouldn't be hard. It should not be hard. They should beat this sorry-ass Green Bay Packers team. But, I mean, you can never say never on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it close still just because I don't think Stafford's playing. I'm going to say Rams over Packers 19-16.
All righty. Why? So you got Packers-Rams.
I like the Rams in this game. I know that, Stafford's going to be questionable. They say he's day-to-day right now. But I'll still take him with a jacked up hand over Jordan Love. Jordan Love has not looked good this season. I don't think he's the guy. I think the Packers, they missed out. They lost Rodgers and the guy that they were having him. Having as the heir apparent to Rodgers is just not working out. They can't really. I just don't see what they can do well. I don't like Matt LaFleur over McVay. No, McVay I think is a better coach.
Yeah.
I think there's just better pieces on the Rams. Still got Aaron Donald. Just the Packers. The Packers don't really have anything that jumps off the page. I think that can kind of maybe even this game out. Watson's not. He's their number one, but he's not. They can't capitalize on that because Love's not a good quarterback in my opinion. Even though they're at home, I think the Rams have looked a little bit better, given some games they've been in the season. So I think they can edge this one out. Give me the Rams, unless they have to go to their backup. If they go to their backup, then all bets are off. But I think if Stafford can somehow play in this game, give me the Rams to win this. I'll say 24-20.
All right. Next up, we got the Washington Commanders going on the road against the New England Patriots. The Patriots, as of late, have not. I mean, they've disappointed, and the Commanders have lost a couple of key weapons. But I mean, that's the Commanders have actually been in some dogfights this season. I mean, especially with the Philadelphia Eagles, but that's a divisional opponent. But and the thing is, the Commanders they've been known for having a scary they've been known for having a scary defense. But thing is, they can have a mediocre defense. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say mediocre, but they can have a slightly above average defense if they're going up against Mac Jones. And seeing as how the Patriots don't have a running game to speak of, this is what makes it a hard choice. Of course, you got the Coach Belichick. What he does is take away. He's a defensive minded coach. He takes away your best weapon. But can he do that against the Washington Commanders? This is going to be a very, very close. But thing is, the Patriots, they've looked good. They looked good last week. I'll give them that. And I don't know what kind of shape the Commanders are going to be in. And this is a home game for the Patriots. So give me the Patriots 24-20 over the Commanders. Flip, who you got? Patriots, Commanders. Yeah, I know.
The Patriots have been not that bad lately. I know the Mac Jones era seemed like it was almost over, but he's kind of like slowly recovered it a little bit, at least enough to keep the starting job. I don't think Bill Belichick went out there and was like, yeah, you got to beat the Dolphins or else you lose your starting job. I think he has to perform against this Commanders team, that just lost Montez Sweat and Chase Young. He's gonna probably have like 5 seconds in the pocket this week. I would not be surprised. This Patriots defense is kind of nasty. They might take away Terry McLaurin. And I mean, I guess you still have Jahan Dotson. You still have Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson. That doesn't sound the greatest. And then you try to look at the defense and you realize they traded that whole thing away after last week. I might have to go with the Patriots here, just because I like the Patriots defense. Their offense has been a bit better. They did lose Devontae Parker, I'm pretty sure, for the rest of the season. Maybe I don't know how long he's gone, but I did see that he was out. Either way, I think this might be a coaching thing for me. Yeah. I think even if the Patriots can be ahead at halftime, they got this no problem. If they're keeping it close at halftime, I think the coaching adjustments gives them the win. So give me the Patriots in this. I'll say 20-17 over the Commanders.
Alrighty. Wise, Patriots, Commanders. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Patriots. I still think, despite the lack of talent, Belichick still, he still is not trying to tank. I don't think. I think he's still gonna try to go out there and put out a team that's gonna compete. The Commanders seem to be sellers. There seem to be kind of move pieces right now, trying to gain assets. Sam Howell had a pretty solid game last week, but I think that changes. I think that'll change against this Patriot defense, especially going into Gillette. I think they're going to rock with Mac Jones at least for the rest of the year before they decide, obviously in the offseason, what they're going to be doing at quarterback. I don't think they have any point. I think what they'll best do is they could give him all the ample opportunity to prove why he should still remain on the team as the quarterback. If not, they'll have a bad season regardless, and at a possible high draft pick, and be able to get their quarterback for the future next year. But yeah, I think there's some pieces. Kendrick Bourne's been looking pretty good at receiver for the Patriots these last few weeks. And obviously, we just saw obviously the granted it was the Philadelphia Eagles and their high-powered offense, but they just dropped 38 on this Commanders defense the week prior, and this Commander defense already lost some pieces on defense through trade. So the Patriots are going to have a little bit of a easier time on offense than they normally would, but I think they'll win this game. Give me New England. Say 20-27. The Commanders 21.
Alrighty. Next up, this is an interesting one. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going on the road against the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans, I mean, C.J. Stroud is looking good, but they're still a team that's kind of figuring things out. The Bucs actually look solid with Baker Mayfield at center. They don't really have too bad of a defense either. But then again, like I said, they're going up against they've been mainly going up against NFC South opponents, so that's here and there. This is going to be a Buccaneers true test to see if, if they win this game, they can pull away in their division. Not saying they're going to make a playoff run, but still, they could be a contender. Texans right now, like I said, they're still figuring things out. They've got a couple of actually definitive wins. I mean, more than I thought they would this year. But CJ Stroud's doing work, man. And the Texans defense, it's not necessarily top tier, but they're start. I mean, the thing is, they are a serviceable defense. They can do enough to hold you at bay. The only question is, can they do enough to keep Baker Mayfield at bay? Because if they do, then they really do got a chance. And if they can contain that Buccaneers running game, um, I'm actually going to give this to the Texans. Believe it or not, give me the Texans 21-20 over the Bucks. Flip, who you got? Texans Bucks.
Give me the Texans in this one.
Yeah, this is interesting. This one is very interesting.
It's gonna be a close game too.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be a close game. The Bucks. I don't know what's going on over there. Mike Evans should not be getting treated this way.
No.
I really thought they were going to trade him at the deadline the way they've been treating him. But he's still on the team. I think it's just the Baker syndrome, where we saw it in Cleveland, where even Odell Beckham was screaming for the ball. And then he was passing it to Peoples Jones, a.k.a. Chris Godwin, on this team.
Pretty much.
So they did kind of get hold in that last week with the pass interference, and then Chris Godwin was like right next to the ball in the Hail Mary. But I'm a CJ Stroud fan, I think, at this point. So maybe my bias is kicking in a little bit here, but I do think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to lean towards the Bucks in this one, though, just because I think defensively and that O-line is a little bit better than the one the Texans have right now. Probably a lot bit better because that whole O-line is on IR. So give me the Bucks in this. I'll say 17-14 over the Texans.
All right, Waz, so you got Bucks Texans.
I like the Bucks. Just them coming off a bye.
Yeah.
Houston having that tough game last week, and losing to Carolina. I think that might have to. I think it's one of those situations where it's a letdown game. I think it's going to carry over into this week for them for a little bit. Bucks, they've been slipping a bit the last few weeks prior to the bye. I would think that they're going to come out and have things retooled a little bit. Mayfield obviously needs to regroup. He was looking like a potential, comeback player of the year at the start of the year. Fell off a little bit. I think they're going to right the ship. I like the weapons on the Bucks a bit more than with Houston. Granted, CJ Stroud's been having a pretty incredible year as a rookie, but I am going to go with Tampa just for the fact that, again, like I'm heavily emphasizing they're having rest and coming off the bye and being able to tool, and even though they're on the road, I like them a little bit more than Houston. Give me Tampa to win this game 26-18.
All right. Next up, you got the Arizona Cardinals going on the road against the Cleveland Browns. Now, despite what a lot of people are thinking, I mean, like everybody says that the Cardinals are tanking, which at this point it's hard to believe they're not. And the Browns, whether Watson is on that field or not, the Browns are cooking. And I'm a Steelers fan, I can tell you that. They're cooking, especially on that defense side of the ball. And, the Browns, I mean, even though they lost, they lost Chubb at the beginning of the year, but, with that ACL, with that ACL injury, they've still managed to find a way to pull out games. I mean, especially, like I said, their defense is pretty much, they're coming alive for these guys. And the thing is, against a team like the Cardinals, who don't necessarily have that much of an identity, I mean, they got somewhat of a running game, but that's about it. But the thing is, like I said, all year long, they've managed to keep games close, win, lose, or draw. But I just think that the Browns on paper are just a better team all around. So, yeah, going ahead and give me the Cleveland Browns in this game, 27-17 over the Cardinals. Flip, who you got? Browns, Cardinals.
Man, what you talking about? This is the return of Kyler Murray. This is the return of greatness. MVP Kyler back. The next half of the season, 8-0. It's a wrap. PJ Walker, he's not gonna even know what hit him this week.
Mm.
Kyler won't either when he gets hit by
Myles Garrett. Yeah, by Myles Garrett. Oh, he's gonna know exactly what hit him. He's gonna know.
Kyler is done for this week. That Browns defense is probably gonna embarrass him on his first week back. Yeah. Hopefully not.
I hope he doesn't get chewed. Yeah, that front seven might chew him.
But yeah, I don't think they even wanted to bring him back. It's just at this point, you have to bring him back in because now it seems a little iffy if you don't.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're not going to sit him for the rest of the year, and then the NFL's like, why aren't you starting your star quarterback who's about $50 million on your payroll?
Exactly.
It's getting a little suspicious. So, yeah, I think he plays. No, I don't think they're going to keep this a close game. Well, maybe just because. I mean, PJ Walker's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to blow up the score like that. So.
No.
Might be a little close, but I still got the Browns winning this just because that defense is just nasty.
Yeah.
Give me the Browns over the Cardinals, 23-16.
All right. Wow. So you got Browns Cards.
Yeah, I like the Browns in this game. I'm not sure. The Cardinals can't really put anyone on the board that's gonna make me think that they can hang with, or they can do anything against this Cleveland defense. Again, they're running into a buzzsaw when it comes to the Browns, and Kyler's probably gonna. I don't think this is gonna be the game that he's gonna want to make his debut back. I think he's gonna want to wait a bit. Let somebody else take the hits. I don't think they're expected to win this game. No sense in throwing Kyler out there to potentially get injured and hurt. This Browns team obviously took out two of the Niners' best stars a few weeks back.
Yeah,
Deebo McCaffrey for a bit. This Browns team is rough. Save yourself, Kyler. Don't get in this game. Put on the Call of Duty. Put on the Spider-Man 2 this week. And then come back the following week prepared. Give Tune, I believe that this the quarterback at their disposal. Give them the option. And I know it's interesting, like you said, this how it might be more suspicious flip, obviously, if they keep prolonging Kyler's debut and everything with all the guaranteed money. But we have to start asking the Browns the same question because I don't know what's going on with Watson.
Yeah.
He, whether or not, like I felt like weeks ago he was ready and they pulled him, and now all of a sudden he's just not playing. We're not really. I don't think we're getting the full story there either. There's definitely
not getting enough massages.
Yeah,
that's true.
There's IE. There's that.
True.
Yikes.
There's true. That is true. Because the therapy's not there for him like it once was.
Yeah, the massage therapy.
The recovery time is not there for him now. So yeah, you're right. That could definitely be it. But I still PJ Walker is serviceable enough, I think, to hang and take the victory over the Cards. Yeah, give me the Browns to win this game. I'll say 23-14.
All right. Next up, we got the Carolina Panthers at home against the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are not to be effed with. And if the Panthers are not careful, the Colts might run up the score on them. I mean, just look at all the weapons they got. And the Colts, the defense isn't really that bad either. Now, if the only way that the Panthers screw around, they can screw around and lose this game, if they underestimate the Panthers. But thing is, you can't really sleep on Mr. Gardner Minshew, as much as I hate to say that. He's the guy that you can't sleep on. And the Colts, like I said, they got a 1-2 punch at the running game. And stats showing that the Panthers have one of the worst run defenses in the damn league. So, it's more, for me, it's more or less an open and shut case unless the Colts just completely crap the bed on all four stages of the game. So yeah, going ahead and give me the Colts 28-14 over the Panthers. Flip, who you got? Panthers, Colts.
Oh yeah, I think what you said about the Panthers having a mediocre run defense is pretty true here because I don't really. I mean, it's been a few weeks. We see Gardner Minshew. He's not looking like that Jaguars Gardner Minshew we're used to. He's still doing enough, but it's this run game. I mean, you got a two-headed monster. You got Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss out there just running all over teams. When that happens, I think a team like the Carolina Panthers is kind of in trouble. You're facing a team that can run the clock on you and score at will because, I mean, when you've got the run game going that crazy, you don't even have to really worry about the pass. And then you got Josh Downs, who's having a great rookie breakout season, and Michael Pittman through the air. So it's like you look at this Colts team. If they had a great quarterback, they would probably be a deep playoff run contender. If we're being honest, because that defense is nasty too. So yeah, I don't like this Panthers team right now. I think the only Panthers team I like is Adam Thielen, and that's about it. Yeah. So give me the Colts in this 24-17 over the Panthers.
All right. Well, you got Colts Panthers.
Yeah, I like the Colts in this game. I like the offensive pieces for them. Like Flip alluded to, Zach Moss, Jonathan Taylor, a terrific 1-2 combo there at the run game. Minshew's serviceable enough. Granted, he's not showing the sparks he did when he was with Jacksonville, like Flip said, but I think it's good enough to get a victory, even on the road against Carolina. This team, obviously, unfortunately, they don't even have their first round pick. They're not really much. They're eventually just trying to get all the reps that Bryce Young can get, the experience he can get to boost that learning curve for him. But this is just going to be another L that they're going to have to take and learn from. I think the Colts just have enough pieces offensively to take it home to them. Give me Indianapolis to win this game pretty handily. I'll say 24-13.
All right. Next up, you got the Las Vegas Raiders at home against the New York Giants.
Oh.
This is the garbage bowl.
Yeah. Very garbage.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Raiders looked piss poor last week. I feel for Devontae Adams. The Giants, I mean, they have no direction, and Saquon that game. Saquon is pretty much the end game. That team starts and runs through Saquon because the Giants' defense, and especially their secondary, isn't scary anymore. And the quarterback situation is up in the air. I love Tyrod Taylor to death, but it's like he's a serviceable guy. And the thing is, Jones. I don't even know if Jones is going to start. I don't even think Jones is going to start next week. So yeah, this is a team. This is going to be a situation of who can suck least. Wow. And the thing, boy, Jesus. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but give me the Raiders 16-13 over the Giants. Flip, who you got? Giants, Raiders.
Can we skip this game?
The toilet bowl. Yeah, it's the toilet bowl. I know.
Man. I think Jimmy G's playing right. He hasn't gotten another concussion or anything, so
I think so.
This is a nasty game. Yeah. It's probably going to be a low-scoring game.
That's why I said 13-16.
Think about. But I can't even say like, oh, Devontae Adams might say when they don't even throw the balls. It's just like, I'm just gonna go with the Raiders in here, just because I think Josh Jacobs has a pretty solid game as usual. Yeah, just going to Raiders in a 17-14 over the Giants.
All right, boys. So you got Giants, Raiders.
I think I'm gonna pick the Giants in this game. I think Danny Dimes is back, and I think they can be a little frisky enough. I'd like that defense, and Jimmy G. He's gonna give him at least 2 picks. If he plays next week. Adams is. I can't imagine that locker room. That locker room is it's all rainbows and butterflies right now. I think they're going to be the chemistry is just going to be down a little bit. They had a tough loss and they just were not connecting.
Mhm.
A lot of missed opportunities. Devontae does not want to be there. Slowly turning into a shit show there.
Mhm.
They just fired McDaniels. They fired their GM. They fired their offensive coordinator. They're cleaning house. We don't know what that team's going to look like. Sometimes teams can rally and play really well for the interim coach, but I just think this Raiders team has a stink on them right now. Quickly. Meanwhile, the Giants, I like their defense at least. Dimes, he got his money, but I'm sure he's going to want to have something to prove. He's going to want to show that he should be the guy in New York. Give me the Giants. This is going to be an iffy game, but I think the Giants can steal this game. Give me New York to win 17-13.
All right. Next up, we got the NFC East matchup, 4:25 p.m. You got the Philadelphia Eagles at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Dallas Cowboys looked pretty damn good against the Rams last week, and the Eagles, come on, they're the Eagles. They need no introduction. And the thing is, one mistake I see the Eagles constantly make is letting teams hang around for too long, and then they end up dropping the game that they should easily win. The thing is, this is division rival here in the Dallas Cowboys, and in recent memory, they've looked pretty damn good against the Dallas Cowboys at home. Now, the thing is, can the Dallas Cowboys running game stack up to the Eagles defense? Now, Washington, the thing is, Washington, gave the Eagles a fight for their life. I think that the Cowboys can do the same. The only thing is can they not make that same mistake that but Washington made, and can the Cowboys capitalize off of that mistake? It's a home game, so I mean, like I said, it's going to be very close. It wouldn't surprise me. Really, it wouldn't surprise me if this game went to overtime. It really wouldn't. But I'm just not so sure that I see the Dallas Cowboys come away with it. But because we all know how the Dallas Cowboys operate. They're win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game. That's how it is with them. And what better team than to take an L to than their own rival, the Philadelphia Eagles? So give me the Eagles in this game. I actually have this as the highest score game of the weekend. Give me the Eagles 31-27 over Dallas. Flip, who you got? Cowboys, Eagles.
Yeah, this is probably gonna be a game of the week type situation here. A little bit of a shootout. It's interesting because the Eagles' O-line is good enough to neutralize this Cowboys D-line.
Right.
And their secondary is terrible. But on the other hand, you got the Eagles' secondary, which is terrible, and the Eagles' D-line, which is probably
one of the best.
It's good, but it can also get neutralized by this Cowboys O-line. So I'm expecting this to be a game where we see a lot of CeeDee Lamb. We see a lot of, Tony Pollard. We see a lot of maybe Michael Gallup, maybe Brandon Cooks. It might be a Brandon Cooks kind of day. He is the speedster on the team. So, and we see a lot of A.J. Brown. We see a lot of Devontae Smith and DeAndre Swift. We might see a lot of him too because, so it's looking like a shootout here. Both teams, when they're playing at their best, they're both neck and neck to me.
As long as Dallas isn't turnover prone, yeah.
Well, yeah, the Eagles are turnover prone too, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Hurts has thrown a couple picks in the last few weeks as well. So I'm gonna lean towards the Eagles just because I like their receiving weapons a little bit more than I do like Dallas's. And their secondary, I mean, both secondaries are pretty, they're pretty mid. But I think the Eagles just traded for Douglas, right?
Russell Douglas. Russell Douglas, yeah.
So yeah, that might be the deciding factor here because he is Mr. Pick Six. So and you know Dak. So yeah, give me the Eagles in this one. I'm gonna say 35-31 over the Cowboys.
All right, Wise, who you got? Eagles, Cowboys.
Yeah, this is a tough one. God says home team with I like their offensive pieces a little bit better than Dallas's. Just slight edge. Again, AJ Brown. You could say he could argue he's the number one receiver in the league right now. Hurts has been playing extremely well. Definitely up there in the MVP talks. This team hasn't lost yet at home. They have that unguardable tush push offensive play. They have a lot going for them. I'm not sure if Dak can capitalize on the secondary. As Dak, Dak's questionable. He's kind of an enigma in terms of very polarizing. Whether people think he's a good, solid quarterback you can win with or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Philadelphia. I do like Philly to win this. I think this is going to be a situation where Dallas and Philly probably just split the season series.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Philly probably takes this one, but Dallas will probably get them back later on.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Philly to win this. I think this could still be a high scoring game, just kind of like the Commanders game was for Philly last week.
Yeah.
Give me Philly to win this game 27 to 24.
Yeah. Now, just to piggyback off of what you were saying about them splitting, God forbid they face them again in the postseason, because I don't like the Cowboys in that rubber match if they were to meet up.
No, I don't. I wouldn't either. Especially if Philly has home field.
Hell yeah.
Going into that, it's gonna. It might be a wrap. That's gonna be a tough place to play in.
Yeah. The Bills have looked a little bit shaky lately, and the Bengals, they're starting to look like they're back in rare form again. The thing is, but these games are usually pretty damn classic games, and Joe Burrow is himself again. And come on, you got Jamar Chase. I mean, all you need to do is put him in the air. He's like he's Mr. Reliable for him. Buffalo. Now, I love me some Josh Allen, but it seems he's been a little bit iffy lately. I don't know if it's receivers or if it's just him. And I think that because I noticed this a lot lately. He's scrambling less. And the reason why, that's smart, because he doesn't want to take a lot of damage. He's taking a lot more damage than he should, especially at this stage in his career. And you can't do that against a team like the Bengals. And the Bengals defense is pretty damn solid too. If you ask me who I like in a shoot, it actually would be the Bills. If you ask me who got the better defense, it will be slightly the Bengals at this point. But it's Thursday night prime. I mean, it's Sunday night prime time here, and oh boy, the Bengals came out on top in their last encounter, I believe. But yeah, going ahead and give me the Bengals over the Buffalo Bills. Let's say 28-25. Flip, who you Bills?
Did a little research. It was the Bills who got Douglas, and the Eagles got Byard. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I like the Douglas pickup for the Bills, just because it looked like when what's his name? Who's their court or CB1? I forget his name.
For the Bills?
Yeah, the Bills corner. The one that went down I think he went down for the season. I forget his name, but ever since he went down though, the team has looked sloppy on defense.
Yeah.
And I think they knew that they needed to go get another corner at the deadline if this team was gonna, make a run for the Super Bowl. We'll see how Douglas is. I think that might be the piece that kind of like makes a closer game for me. I don't mean the Bengals for me, but I mean, it's just going to be close. I'll just say that. It's going to be close. I would say 35-33 Bengals, but man, this is a tough one to call. I'll say that. But I'm just going to lean towards the Bengals just because I think Joe Mixon, I like Joe Mixon a lot more than I do like the situation in the backfield with James Cook and Latavius Murray and those guys. So, yeah, I'll just lean on that for now.
All right. Wise, who you got? Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. So if either of both these teams were considered stocks, Bills are starting to go down a little bit, especially with their performance the last few weeks. Offense has not has not looked around. They have a tough game, but they've historically have owned and played very well against Buffalo. I don't see why that would necessarily change here on Sunday night. Granted, Josh Allen does. This could definitely be a game that Josh Allen breaks out. So I could definitely imagine Chris Collinsworth just talking him up the entire time. If he could do that for the Chicago quarterback the week prior, just imagine how much he's going to basically be just drooling over Josh Allen and Joe Burrow this week.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a potential for that, but I like Cincy's weapons. They're at home. I think they're on the rise. I think this is another potential statement game for them. Buffalo's just looked sloppy the last couple of weeks. I'm not sure what to expect out of them. I've not had good confidence in them since they lost Week 1 against the Jets. Even in some of their victories, like against the Giants, it was just very, very poorly played, not confident, not really a confidence building win whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I like Cincy to. I like Cincy to win this game. Give me Cincinnati to win this game. I'll say 27 to 23.
All right. And last but not least, Monday Night Football, we got the New York Jets going up against the LA Chargers. Now, I don't know what to make of...
Suddenly I got to go, guys. I'll see you guys next week.
No. You stay your ass over here. No.
Yeah. This is a game, man. This is a game where I think we all know what's going to happen at the end.
Yes, we do. But I don't want to say it. But all right, but all serious. But the thing is, I already know what the Chargers are coming to do, and hopefully it's not play 3 quarters and throw the damn game away in the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. I hope that's not the case, but we all know that that's 95% chance what can happen. But I mean, and the thing is, I don't know what to make of the New York Jets. I really don't. I mean, they got Sauce Gardner, they got a somewhat decent secondary, and a somewhat decent D line. They got some weapons on offense too, but that's the thing is how can they keep it up? And the thing is, if you look on paper, the Chargers are actually a better team than the Jets. It's just a matter of if the Chargers can sustain a damn lead for longer than a quarter. And but you know what? I actually think that this is the game they're going to do it. Go ahead and give me the Chargers. Give me the Chargers 26-23 over the New York Jets. Flip, who you got? Jets, Chargers.
Jets, Chargers. Man, don't make me do this. This is not fun. Okay, so my issue with this team, and this will be my issue, and it's been my issue for the last 5 years, ever since we traded away Melvin Gordon, to myself, please replace him with somebody who can, run like Melvin Gordon.
Exactly.
Ever since then, we have tried to replace him with someone who can run like Melvin Gordon, and we have not succeeded at all. So when Derrick Henry was on the trade block, supposedly, I thought to myself, hey, what a perfect opportunity to fill a major hole in our offense, because I think last I checked, we were 22nd in the league in running.
Yeah.
But our passing game is like top 5. So it's like that's the missing piece. Austin Eckler is a great running back, but he's not Christian McCaffrey. He can be shifty like McCaffrey, but he needs somebody that can, complement him in that backfield, just like Aaron Jones has A.J. Dillon, Alvin Kamara used to have Mark Ingram. It's just that 1-2 punch that they need, and we ain't got it. And every week, even if we get ahead, it's like, what does every other team do when they get ahead? They run clock.
Exactly.
We can't do that. So it's just like, what's the point? So yeah, don't make me do this. Anyways, Chargers 23, Jets 21. I have no faith in this score, but I'm just hoping that Zach Wilson sells.
All right, Waz, who you got? Chargers, Jets.
Jets are going to steal this one.
Oh,
I just know it. I think the Chargers are going to.
Wait a minute. Do you mean that the Jets are going to steal it, or the Chargers are going to, cough it up?
Either way. honestly, because the Chargers, the Chargers are known for their shenanigans. They can miss an extra point. We already know what's going to happen. Staley can have some terrible mismanagement of the ball, of the time clock, whichever. Granted, the Jets are kind of a circus in their own right, but they've looked confident. They've looked at least, they've looked somewhat decent and competent. They got a good defense. They got good weapons. And Zach Wilson hasn't been like completely as bad as he was in the previous seasons and how he was like early on. Yeah, man, it's crazy, this Jets team, and then the fact that Aaron Rodgers is lurking in the background, like he's projected to potentially come back from that Achilles injury in like record time.
Wow.
It's just all shaping up, man. It is shaping up for like a weird Jets season where they have a potential to maybe somehow sneak into the playoffs. And then you have Aaron Rodgers coming back for that play run, and then all bets are off at that point. But I think this is a game where the Chargers might lead this game for the entirety, but maybe by like 2 or 3 points, and then somehow the Jets do something to force it to overtime. I just see the Chargers botching it, the Jets stealing it at the end. Give me the Jets to win this. I think they're going to win 24-21.
Wow. All righty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this week's edition of the NFL 4th and Goal podcast. This was an interesting one, but I really do look forward to this week because I think this might be another Twilight Zone week where we see a whole bunch of upsets. But hey, like I said, you never know. Any final thoughts before we sign up tonight, guys?
I definitely think it's a wonky week, like you said.
Yeah.
I think when looking at it from gambling's perspective, there was a lot of point spreads that were like at like 2.5, less than a field goal for the favorites in several games. So I think there's going to be a lot of close games this week. There's only maybe a handful of games, and I think like we said at the beginning of the podcast, I think a lot of that has to do with the kind of the bad quarterback play, the level like competency at quarterback that basically is being put out there. There's just not enough good quarterbacks for all these teams, unfortunately, and so it's putting out for these kind of weird bad matchups. But I think like you said, there's going to be some upsets, but I think it's going to be another wonky week for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually any given Sunday, and I'm excited. I know we usually like more constructive football where we know this team is gonna, finally make the playoffs. But I like these seasons where it feels like it's anything goes, and it feels like it's very anything goes.
Yeah.
I know we'll even say like the Dolphins are at the top, but then like we were saying the Bills were at the top, and it looked like the Dolphins and Bills are going to be battling. Then they fell off, and then you see the 49ers. We were like, oh, they got the clear cut, path to the top of the NFC. Fell off,
and so then you see the Eagles lose to the Jets, and then you see crazy,
It's fun football. I know it's a little chaotic, and I think that's why all the gamblers are mad at it. But as a football watcher, it seems fun because it feels like anything can happen any week. So I'm excited for this year.
Definitely. Well, anyway, fellas, thank you guys for hosting the podcast with me. I will see you guys next week. Peace out.
Peace, man. Thanks for having us.